Hey everybody, I'm Grimmy. Today I'm going to show you one of the assignments I did for university. Now before I get the video actually started, I just want to say if you hear any thumping music in my recording that isn't from the audio I place in the video, or you hear some people talking, that's because my flatmate has some friends over and he's having a mini party in his room, so that's completely out of my control unfortunately. But yeah, so today I'm showing you an assignment. For those who don't know, I'm studying cartoons and comic arts, so most of my assignments have to do with making comics, although that's not the only thing I do. In one of our classes, we had to draw a scene inside of an apartment. Basically what happened was that we were given these templates we had to cut out of and build a little box thing out of it. And inside the box thing, on the back, we had to draw a scene of an apartment and characters doing something. Then we placed each of our little boxes next to each other and it made an apartment-like structure. I don't think I explained it very well, but basically all you need to know is that we made a single illustration of something happening in an apartment. And our assignment was to make a mini comic based off of that scene. So mine was of my characters Chasina, also known as Phobia, and Weirdo. In my scene, I had Chasina being angry at Weirdo for killing someone. Therefore, in my comic, I did the scene before Weirdo killed the guy, when Chasina is looking for him because he didn't go to an appointment he was meant to attend. We could do as many pages as we wanted, but I decided to only do one page, since we only had a week to work on them, and as you guys may have guessed already if you've seen my previous videos, I'm very busy and a slow worker. I do all of my drawings on Paint Tool SI, since I just find it easier. I have tried other programs, but I don't like them as much, since I find them not as straightforward as Paint Tool SI, for me anyway. However, I do use Clip Studio to write the dialogue in and other text for my comics, since it has a typing tool that is very practical. I'd say my current rate is 1 page per day for a fully detailed and shaded comic page, but I'm a slow worker like I mentioned previously. However, I am able to complete simple comic pages at a much faster rate than that. So if they have limited shading, limited palettes, or a very simplistic art style, I can obviously go much faster than that. The characters that I used are my two main characters for my series called Mishaps that I am developing and hopefully will turn into a comic in the future. Chasina is a police officer, head of 2 different departments, while Weirdo is a hotel manager in the city they both live in. However, Weirdo is also a part-time mercenary and Chasina is mostly aware of this. Despite being aware that Weirdo has committed crimes, she has never had enough evidence to get him into jail. The page I'm drawing here wouldn't be canon in my official story, but it's something that, knowing my 2 characters, could have happened. The doctor that Chasina mentions in the first panel is a French scientist called Charlot comme toi that is researching Mishaps, a type of mutant in my series. Weirdo, Chasina, and Dr. comme toi are all Mishaps, and Weirdo and Chasina are helping the scientist with his studies. The guy Weirdo kills doesn't matter. He's a random criminal of sorts, probably someone that has pissed Weirdo off enough for him to want the guy dead. This doesn't happen as much as you expect, since there are a limited amount of things that really get Weirdo angry. But one of them is child abuse. He hates that. He hates, for Weirdo, children are beings that should not be hurt until, for him, children are sort of sacred. So for this criminal guy, I imagine that the guy probably did something bad to a child, whatever it may be, murder or just abusing his own children if he has any, but the details don't really matter. All you need to know is that Weirdo hates him and he needs to die, and Chasina doesn't want him to do that because it's not in Weirdo's, he's not of authority to do that, Weirdo, so, Chasina's just don't do that please, but Weirdo doesn't listen to Chasina or anybody else, so he's gonna do it anyway. So yeah, that's how I make comics. All of my comics are quite, not dark, but have dark themes that I've sort of tossed around. So if you don't like that, I'm sorry, that's just how my comics are. I'm an angsty piece of crap. So yeah, I use Paint Tool SI for everything. Honestly, I should probably use Clip Studio more because it has some really good features and tools that would probably make my drawing a lot easier, but it's a little intimidating and I'm just so used to using Paint or Sai. But, you know, I'll probably get over the intimidation and just get on with it at some point. In other news, I am working on the prologue for my Criminally in Love webcomic. Once I finish that, I'll start posting the pages on Smack Jeeves and then get started on the stories. The way it's going to happen is that each chapter will be around a new murder or new crime, while concentrating mainly on the two main characters' relationships. I'll talk more about that when I've actually got more pages on the way, and I'll make sure everybody is aware that my webcomic is up and running when that is starting. I'm also planning on making some new stickers, well, my first set of stickers and buttons at some points, and I've already have some sketches, so I'll show you all once I've got all the sketches and how I'm, making them and stuff like that. I still need to research how to make stickers and buttons in the first place because people tell me it's really easy, but it always seems a lot more daunting when you're first trying to do something new that you haven't experienced yet. So I'll probably ask one of my friends to help me out, or maybe one of the third years in my course to give me some tips. So yeah, that's the end of the video. All of my social media links are in the description down below. Feel free to check out my Patreon, and you can check out my commission prices on my DeviantArt. Thanks for watching. Bye bye!